Okay, we're back. It's me, Vince Mancuso. We're going to talk drawing. And today, I wanna play around with my version of the Loomis head. Andrew Loomis, famous illustrator from the Golden Era, has put a group of legendary books on becoming a great drawer and illustrator and all that kind of stuff. So let's first just reiterate the standard Loomis head. Okay, so we've got the XYZ axes. All right, so we got Y, we got Z. Sorry, we got Z, we got Y, we got X, we got X, right? So the main premise here is the sphere, okay? That what we're basically doing is building out a sphere that basically has this kind of structure. I'm gonna do the modifications on it as well, so that you can see how that works. Okay, so just to reiterate, radius, some foreshortening in the radius there. So now this is my dome head. Okay, I'm going to come around radius over here, right, so that I get the quartered half, right, and then this is the circumference connecting there, right? This whole section in the front of this sphere has been removed. Okay, so this basic quarter, now I've taken this out. Okay, this sets up the stage for the structure of the crown and the forehead and the back of the head. Okay, so now look at how I'm going to go in and do my cuts. All right, so here I've got my XZ axis right coming through here, right? What I'm going to go in now is, because human heads have to be flattened, so I'm going to flatten this, right? Bingo. All right, and just take a little wedge right in there. You see how I've come in from the circumference? I've basically taken that little bit right in there. Okay, this little sliver. Okay. A little sliver, and I've removed it off of the side, right? This has been quartered, so it's like that. Okay. And that's been, and so I've flattened. Where the fuck? Flattened the head, okay? This is very important. Right? Now the sides that I have flattened the head now are going to become where where the ear goes, right? And will be the side of the human head. Now, the front will be determined here. If I get to the north pole of the y-axis and I run a center line, right, through to the back, right? This is on the Z, right? Everything's 90 degrees, right? This is a very important intersection, okay? This is the brow, right? This is where the front of the face is going to be. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to take that form, okay, and I'm going to connect it to a form that's something like this. Okay. Basically a kind of triangular prism, right? Kind of chopped off triangle, pyramid kind of structure. More like a prism, a kind of tapered prism would be the way to describe it, right? And this, right, is going to be inserted in here. So it's going to replace that wedge that was there, that quarter, right? 1/4 wedge, right, that was in here is now being replaced against something that looks like this. Okay? I mean, this is what the Loomis method really is all about, right? So that fundamentally, once you know determine this, you're basically looking at whatever the distance is to the forehead and the top of the head. This distance, right, gets then divided here by 2, joined into there. So those 3/3, right? Well, this will make where the nose goes. In the middle there goes where the mouth goes, and then this is where the eyebrow goes for the human head, and it connects. Okay, simple. Those two forms make a perfect head with perfect unit of measurements that are absolutely reliable. So now the thing is finding shortcuts, right, to be able to draw these heads quickly and accurately, right? So this is my way, okay? The thing is based on fundamentally, Jesus, I hate when that happens. God damn it. There we go. Right? So the whole thing is based fundamentally, right, on a circle, right? So what I do is immediately I simplify the circle and I just deal with half, the upper dome, right? And then from that circle, I project where do I want the front of the mask to be. So I come out with my Z line, right? And then I know that if I intersect my X, Y, Z relative to that angle, I'm looking for 90 degrees, okay? And then I do my Y and Z there, okay? It's almost like automatic. I've got that becomes my brow. Then where's my Z? Then here, right? I have to make my slice, so I flatten and I put a ellipse right on the side of the head, and I've got my helmet. My front now, where this intersects, that's where the front of the face is, so that comes down, right? And I'm come down and across, right? Down and across. My cheekbone comes high, so it comes from this station here. There's the chin. Then I establish on the front line the hairline, right? There's the base of my nose. There's the barrel mouth. Basically, this is a sort of a 6-sided wine barrel, kind of shaped like that, right? That's how you get the mouth, right? Side slice there. Brow, brow. That's how I start to get my shape really quickly. Okay, I'll do it again. Come up there, come up here, down, off to the side, come down, chin, bring that brow right around and down. And this is how I can start drawing these structures really quickly. And once I understand that basic formula, I know in here there's a center point there. See, there's my ellipse, there's my front to back, right? And I don't have to go through all the steps, all right? But, you know, this is easier said than done, okay? At first, even just seeing these proportions and how they hook up and maintaining accuracy is a real challenge. So you got to practice. You got to practice over and over and over again, right? You know, we want to change the see, look. Now I'm going to do a more severe angle, right? So like watch, here's my half circle. Then I find my dot. I mean, I can even do my circle, just like one like that, dot, right? Bring it to where I want that front, okay? So now it's like, it's here, you see? Look, and there's my axes like that, right? So now when I bring this to the front, that front is here, you see? And there's my brow. And when I bring my axis down here on the side, right? Look, there's my slice. So there's the side of my head. There's the front, right? My hairline would be somewhere there. So there's my distances. I'm foreshortening them a little bit here. Look, there's my chin, right? There's my nose. Okay, there's my under chin. And this is a very difficult angle to do. Right? Canopy. Then from here I get the high cheekbone. And then from here I get the hairline. And the cheekbone coming down over here. The mouth in between there somewhere. Right? And now I got a very challenging view drawn out pretty accurately. That's the amazing part. There it is. Okay, and I can start moving these heads in any direction I want, right? Look, there's another circle, get the little dot, bring that out to where I want the face to be, right? And now it's all gonna come down this way, right? Then I go that's my half circle there. Here's my half circle there, cut here, there's my side, slice, there's my brow, there's my nose, there's my chin, bring that down, bring that forward. There we go. And this is just now breaking it down into the various planes, right? Because now I know that those planes are in that position. This is now understanding the essential planes of the mannequin head. Okay, and this will apply for your female and male. Once you start getting this idea, which is based on that form, that sphere with a wedge being taken out, and then the pyramidal prism being replaced, that's 2/3 longer than the forehead, right? You know, then once you memorize that, okay, then you can start flying through these, right? With tremendous accuracy, and you start changing the character of that mannequin head, right? And you start to understand where everything has to go, right, for it to work. And you can start drawing them quickly, right? Because if all of a sudden you're drawing like a party or a pool party and you've got to draw hundreds of people, you got to understand how to be able to place their heads in space accurately, right? You can even start getting, like, you know, I kind of developed this sort of almost profile sort of approach to it, right? Where I just drop in the sphere and it's easy for me to place the brow now, the right angle triangle for the nose, the mouth, in its six-sided barrel, right? And then the chin, right? Determine where the planes are, okay? You know, and there's subtleties to a human head, right? There's like various, you know, minutia, right? But we want to get the big shapes here, right? For now, right? Just the mannequin side, the geometry, you know, the fact that this barrel has a side, right? Here, and so we need to get that into the understanding of the tonal values, right? And this is how now the next thing that's important, because I've showed you the methodology on how to draw the head. It's basic geometry, and you can do it consistently and accurately, okay? Once you master that LOOMIS method. But now let's take a look at, you know, how do we establish the lighting or the shadowing, right? For the cube. I mean, not the cube, for the mannequin head. So check this out. I'll do it from a frontal view, okay? And then a 3/4 view, right? And, you know, so that you can see, okay? So look, here's the first thing. There's my half circle, look. Right? Radius, 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 right? Like just, there it is, right? I know I have to chop 1/8, right? That's the way that the head is. There's going to be where my brow is, right? From here, there's a plane that shifts. And this is very distinctive in each human being, okay? There's a hairline, right? Which is the point before you get to the crown of the head, okay? That kind of wraps down around, like so. The canopy of the eyes come horizontally across, right? These are all the critical planes, right? So now I take this distance, right? And it becomes the distance for my nose. My nose is basically a straight on right angle triangle. With men, it's straight on and it's slightly turned down. With women, it's straight on, but it's slightly turned up. You always see the nostrils, right? So you kind of have these two graphic planes. From this point here, right, where the ears attach, this is where the cheekbone, the high cheekbone, comes down to the front of the chin, okay? Now, on different people, this is either more dramatic or it's less dramatic, right? You know, this is a sort of a specific personality or character design, right? Everybody has it unique to them, okay? Unique to their skull, right? There's where the now side, right? Okay. Then the jawline drops down, right, and comes across like a right angle. See? So now I'm establishing all of the critical planes here, you see, and they're all connecting. These are all working. They're all not, it's not loosey-goosey. There's structure here. This is solid, you know, it's fitted together. Now that's the basic framework we're dealing with, okay? I'll do it here now from a 3/4 view, right? So there's my sphere, right? So I'm going to come around a little bit. I got a bit of a flattened head here, right? So I'm going to foreshorten that a little bit because I'm going to turn it more to the front here so we can see it, right? There's the canopy for the eyes, right? I find this middle point, I come up here, I establish the brow, okay? I bring the jawline down to here, right? I bring the chin down to here. Now look at my perspective. These lines are all converging together, right? This is the center line. It comes down here. It establishes the nose, right? There's a front of that nose, and then that nose goes back to a width, right? But it's very subtle, okay? These are all very subtle elements, right? The mouth is not flat, right? It actually turns around, you know, subtly, like a barrel, like that, you see? So that there's dimension to this. The cheekbone comes from this ear spot, right? That intersection where the XY, you know, the X and Y, the X and Z meet on the side of the head, right? The cheekbone comes across from that point to the top of the chin. Okay? So now that that's like that, you see, I've got all my components. I start setting up and figuring out my tonal palette. Now, this is when you're going to tone, right? So let's do one, you know, with the light source. The light source is going to come from here, right? So this is going to be my angle of light, like that, okay? Angle. Yeah, So I'll show you how to do one, and then you get the routine. Okay, so that's basically going to be like that. Let me just get this out of here. We're going to cut these two apart. Just do a little cleanup. Just get the cut and paste so that they're on their own separate layers. Which now I'll move this over here. And I'll move this over here. Okay. So let's start here. Layer number 1. And gonna put right. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna start, so I'll get my tones. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got a little action there. So now I'm just gonna go and get my, what do I want? I'm gonna get my pencil block brush and I'll start with my tones. I'm gonna start with my, I'm gonna start with the, what do we got there? What? Yeah, I wanna be there. Yeah, there we go. Right. So I'm gonna get, and just start blocking these in. Right. Get to those edges real quick. Right. Right. So I'm putting in right now the shadow tone. Right. And get all of this covered. Just simple, right? Just bang it in. There's the shadow tone. Okay, so, and we got the lights kind of coming from here a little bit, so there's a bit of this vibe. Right, there's a bit of that. That's going on there. Get a little bit of edging right in there. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm gonna go in for the light tone. I'm gonna drop that in. All right, now this is all about now also, you know, when you do something, it's like you don't have to stick with it. You can change it if you see something better, a better opportunity, you know, something that looks better. Okay? So this is very important, man. It's like you gotta take advantage of the situation. It's your drawing, right? So you're trying to give this guy a sort of a physical look, right? And now I'm gonna go in for the core shadow. All right. This is right to the edge. All right. That's what it does. It's sort of okay. See that? Got that? Beautiful. Okay. Now I'm going to get my cast shadow. Now, because they're floating on space, right? The cast shadows are going to be just in certain spots, right? And on the object that's behind, you know, to its side. Like there's a cast shadow there, you see? There's a cast shadow underneath here, right? You know, there's a bit of cast, you know, inside there. Okay? Right here, there's a bit of cast shadow. There's definitely cast shadow under the mouth. There's cast shadow on the upper lip, right? There's cast shadow here. Right? Maybe even some shadow areas in some of these spots. Okay, like these swells. Okay, there's my bingo. Now I get my highlight. Right? So now the highlight with restraint. Doesn't need much. Doesn't need much. Okay? That could be it. There's a head, right? Now let's bang out the other one. Let's get a little action there. So we'll do a different lighting scheme. I'll bring the light from underneath. So what's typically shadow, I'm going to turn light. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to block that in first. Okay, so everywhere I see those spots. Okay, so it's like lighting from directly underneath. Okay, upper lip. The eye swells. You know, and you'll see it gives you a completely different, interesting kind of look, right? Where to go? I know that there's going to be a bit of a swell like that. Just catch. I'm gonna use that sloping like that. Now I gotta go into my midtone and sort of pretty much now I'm gonna start to bang in everything. The midtones in here. The top of the head here like that. Right? This kind of coming above like that. Yeah, sometimes this feels counterintuitive, you know, but you got to follow the logic through, right? Like the nose planes are moving away from you. And so you have to react to that and adapt to that. Because that's what the logic of the lighting does. It plays out that way. So, see? So now you can start to see it taking shape. It's becoming believable, right? Right. Now I'm going to go in and get the core shadow. So now my core shadows are kind of working from above here, see? There on the nostrils. Somewhat in here. Right onto those borders. Let's see. Definitely probably in behind there. Behind the temple, coming around, and then on the outside with a little bit of light catching. Yeah, and I'm just trying to think of the forms, you know? I'm just playing the forms off each other the way that I would think them to be. So there I put the core, right? So now I go in and grab the cast. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to do a little core right here on and give this guy a bit of a brow. Like that. I think that gives him a bit of a manly brow. And now I'll go in and put the cast shadows. So there's going to be some cast shadow up in here, right? Has to be. You know? for sure. And right in the nostrils. Right where the mouth. Because now it's reversed. The upper lip is lit. Some cast shadows in there. Little cast right on the little cast there. Let's see, where else would there be a cast? Something back in there. Now I'll go back and just bang in a highlight. Get something right in there, right on the under of the eye. And now I've changed the lighting. I've come from underneath and I've lit another head. All right, so to conclude, what am I looking for? Project 5. I'm looking for just linear versions of the mannequin head, 150 minimum in line, okay? Project number 6. What am I looking for? 150 heads minimum, but in tone. And as you can see here, I've broken all the details down to help you along with understanding. Remember to flatten the side of the head. Remember that the facial mask is basically 3/3, right? 1/3 forehead, 2/3 nose, 3/3 base of the nose to the base of the chin. The sphere, the forehead, the cranium, and the back of the head have to look and feel like a sphere. Get it wrong and it will look distorted. Compromise the form of the sphere incorrectly in space, and then the head will look, weird, out of proportion, incorrect. It must have a spherical foundation. You take out the quarter, you replace it with the 2/3 of the facial mask, the nose to the chin and the mouth area. You slip that in and you've got your heads. That's Project 6 and Project 5. Good luck, have fun. Now things are going to start getting interesting.